This is Mr. Martin. This is video number 2 for Unit 5. We're talking about the unit circle, and we're going to start talking about converting between angle measures. So we have two different ways to measure angles. We can measure them in degrees, which we've been doing for a long time, or we can measure them in radians. And we know that there's 360 degrees in a full revolution, or there's 2 pi radians in a full revolution. So we really don't need to use 360 and 2 pi. We can use 180, because I know that 180 degrees is equal to pi radians. So that's what we're going to use to convert. So to convert radians to degrees, we're going to take our radian measure and we're going to multiply by 180 over pi. Okay, and if you think about your unit analysis, we want the radians to cancel out. So a lot of times the radians will have pi in it. So you'll have a pi in the numerator, and then you put the pi in the denominator, and then our pi's will cancel out. It's not always the case, because sometimes you'll have a decimal radian measure. So you just need to keep in mind that this pi is in radians, so you have radians in the numerator, radians in the denominator, and you'll end up with degrees. Okay, and then to convert from degrees to radians, we're going to take our degree measure, take our degrees, and then we're just going to flip-flop this. We're going to multiply by pi divided by 180. So then our degrees over here and our degrees over here will cancel, and we'll just be left with radians. Alright, so if we're given an angle in terms of pi, sometimes you're going to want to keep it exact, or if you're given a radians and decimals, you can write your answer as decimals, but I'll mention that again as we go. Okay, so we're going to convert the following. And if we're starting with degrees, we're going to convert to radians, and if we're starting with radians, we're going to convert to degrees. We always know that it's degrees because we'll have the degree symbol. If it doesn't have the degree symbol, then we know it's radians. So for the first one, we have 350 degrees, so I'm going to multiply by pi divided by 180 degrees. So again, notice my degrees are going to cancel here. Those degrees cancel with those degrees. And when you plug this into your calculator, you just want to plug in 350 divided by 180, and then we're going to use the math frac. So math, and then we're going to convert it to a fraction so that we'll get our answer as an exact answer in terms of pi. So again, 350 divided by 180, that turns out to be 35/18, and then we just bring the pi down. Okay, so this pi just comes along. So 350 degrees is 35 pi over 18. Alright, then for the next one, we're going to multiply by pi over 180. Again, the degrees are going to cancel out. On our calculator, we're just going to do 135 divided by 180, negative.
May I have your attention, please?
Alright, so not sure where I was before that, but anyway, we're going to do negative 135 divided by 180, and that's going to give us negative 3/4, so this is going to convert to negative 3 pi over 4. Alright, so those two are converting degrees to radians. Now let's go the other way. So I've got 5 pi over 12, and again you want to think, okay, I want this pi to cancel out, so I'm going to have to put my 180 degrees in the numerator and my pi in the denominator, so those cancel out. And then I just plug the rest of the information into my calculator, and we should get 75 degrees. Don't forget your units, put the degree symbol in there. Alright, let's do one more. We've got 6 pi over 11, so I'll multiply by 180 over pi. The pi's are going to cancel, and we're left with 1080 11ths degrees. That would be an exact answer, or an approximation would be 98.18. So this answer is exact, and this answer is an estimate. Okay, even though this is more meaningful to us, it still is an estimated answer. Alright, so why don't you go ahead and see if you can do 5, 6, 7, and 8. Pause the video, and then when you come back the answers will be there. You can check those before we move on. So here are the solutions for 5 through 8. Couple things to notice here. For number 5, we've got an approximation here, so it's 565.714 degrees. But for 6 and 7, notice these two, I just left them as exact answers in terms of fractions in terms of pi. When I say in terms of pi, that means pi is part of the answer. And then number 8 just turns out to be 390. So again, if you have any questions about these, make sure you write them down if you're not in class, and ask me about them later. Alright, so that's the end of this video. In the next video, we're going to start talking about coterminal angles, and we'll see you there.